When it comes to business, there are words you want to use to make more sales of your goods or services or anything that you're offering. And there are those words you must avoid when you want to make the sales. Today I want to teach you 6 statements that you must avoid by all costs in order to make good sales in your businesses. And these words, by the way, they are very practical. They have been tested and they are very practical. For instance, let's start by the first statement that you must avoid during sales. The first statement is trust me. Why should you tell the person or your client, trust me? What does that mean? When you tell someone trust me, that simply means that you doubt yourself first. Because if your trust is not in doubt, then you don't need to tell someone to trust you. You see, action speaks louder than words. If you want the trust from that person, just do what is right and the person will just trust you automatically. The statement number 2, or the word number 2 you need to avoid by all means is to be honest with you. Just listen to that statement, to be honest with you. You see, there's no, maybe let's say you've been doing a business or you've been talking to your client. Maybe it's on a phone call. You see, some businesses are online. So maybe you've been on a phone call talking to your client. Then maybe for some time, maybe some few minutes, then you just reach out a point and suddenly you say such a statement that to be honest with you, maybe this and this and this is going to be like this. You see, automatically, when you just use that word, to be honest with you, that what does that try to imply? Because this person will be like, what do you mean that to be honest with you? That tends to imply that the thing that you've been talking about, like the few minutes ago before that statement, was a lie. That is something that is going to be in his mind. So avoid such word, avoid a word like to be honest with you. Automatically, if you bring that time from your mouth, that shows that there's aspect of doubt there. And in fact, even if the client was not doubting you, that is the moment he'll start doubting you. 3. Word number 3 is saying a statement like, sorry to bother you. For example, I want to use a practical example. I know you've been maybe in one way or another associated with this mobile lending loan apps. Most of them, they'll call you. Maybe you have delayed to pay your debt, or you owe them some money, and you'll hear maybe someone just calling you, and he'll be like, hi, am I talking to someone? Am I talking to so and so? And maybe you'll say yes, and they'll be like, I didn't want to bother you, but I just wanted to remind you that you haven't paid our loan. You see, such a statement, the first statement says a lot, but if they didn't want to bother you, why did they call you in the first place? And they have already bothered you. So if you tell someone that I didn't want to bother you, then you should not bother him at all, because making the call is already bothering him. So you don't need to tell him that I didn't want to bother you and you have already bothered him. So those are some of the words you need to avoid while doing business with someone. Number 4, we have the word or a statement called contract. Maybe you've been doing a business with someone, selling of property, maybe a land, car, or any asset, and you reach a point where you reached maybe your agreement, and you want to seal the deal. You see, when you tell someone that please, I want us to sign the contract, it sounds more weird. Many people fear to get involved with that term contract, because when someone hears a contract, that sounds like it's a very big word, And so many people will tend to be scared when they hear such a name. But when you use a word like maybe you've already agreed, maybe it's selling of the property, selling of a car or something of the sort, and you just use a simple term or a simple word like maybe let's say like can we do the paperwork? You see, it sounds more presentive than just saying the contract direct. Word number 5 is a very common word, and it's a word that everyone uses now and then. For example, you are doing your sales, you are in your shop. There's this word called buy. I know when you go or you are doing business, you want to sell something, you want to sell for your client something. That means that he's buying from you. Automatically he's buying from you. But you don't need to tell the client that or ask the client that a question like maybe for example asking your client that maybe after you have negotiated on a certain commodity, then you ask him or her that are you going to buy this? The moment you just pronounce that word buy, it already sinks in the mind of that client that he or she must spend, because buying is highly associated with spending, and there's that monetary value that comes in the mind of your client when you just pronounce that thing, when you just pronounce that word buy. So some clients will tend to avoid spending. No one, in fact, no one on earth likes spending money. So immediately that monetary aspect will start sinking in your client's mind. He'll tend to start weighing out, and in most cases they will refuse that maybe they're not buying the commodity. But instead you can use another pleasing word, like for example after you've negotiated on the product and you are seeing that maybe he likes the product, maybe you can just ask him some simple statement like maybe do you like to go with this at home, or something like I hope you don't mind owning this. You see, that is something more appealing, and even the owner, the person you're asking, will feel like yeah, I feel like owning this, and you close the deal very easily. Yeah, at the end of the day, he has bought the commodity. He has bought the commodity. Then finally, there's this statement: we are better than. Never use that statement in business, because the moment you start comparing yourself with someone else, that means that you're not confident in yourself. Let's say you are offering certain goods and services, and you have another, or your competitors are offering the same goods and services, and there's this client asking you, what is this that makes you important than maybe this other business? Instead, you'll find that most persons will start justifying themselves. Someone will start like, you see, we offer good services. Our goods are of high quality compared to them. You see, that comparison. So you don't need to compare your business with their business. Why should you compare? If you have confidence in what you're doing, then if someone asks you, maybe for example, ask you, why should I prefer you to offer me these services rather than maybe he names your competitor? Just ask him a simple question: Have you already conducted them? Instead of putting your competitors down, in fact, put them somewhere high. It talks more about you. Instead, tell him, actually, they are good people also. So if maybe you can conduct them and see if they can assist you, it will also be a great thing. But you'll find that the moment someone is talking to you on phone and they are asking you about certain things, that means that that person has not made his mind. That means that person, he's still doing a research. he has not yet decided on what he wants and where he's picking what he wants. So when you try to intimidate your competitors, it speaks more about you. Instead, but when you appraise your competitors, it speaks more about you again. He might conclude that you are someone who is a good-hearted, someone who is not selfish, and maybe uplifting your competitors might bring you more customers. And these are the 6 words you must avoid when doing sales. If you have not subscribed to this channel, consider subscribing so that next time you don't miss. Thank you for watching. Until next time.